Ah, to succeed, you gotta do your best. But to win, you gotta be the best. What up? It's me, Prez, and welcome back to another Real Ninja Reacts. We got a video here today, but before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, do all that stuff that us content creators actually to do that you never do. But if you don't want to do the free stuff, it's because you got that paper. You got some money for me, right? And you want to send me $5 to this Cash App to scroll on the bottom right here. All right. Send me $5 and say, hey, Prez, you're doing a good job. Keep up the good work. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We got a video here today, and it is of women who have life sentences. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this video. Let's go.
Kentucky Correctional Institution for Women, where these 7 women are serving a life sentence. Murder, money, jealousy, all play a part in the sentences these women have been handed. Share your opinions by...
Look at these ladies. Look at these ladies. Yeah. All of them look evil, especially this one. What you smiling for?
dropping a comment, and make sure you subscribe so you...
I guarantee you this person right here, whoever this is, did the worst crime. She did the second worst. And she did the third worst. Let's see.
Don't miss part 2 of women serving life sentences in the state of Kentucky. On May 12, 2004, the dead body of Edgar Perkins was discovered lying face down in his dining room. His pockets were turned inside out and his empty wallet was found nearby. Perkins's brother testified that Perkins had won a considerable amount of money betting on the Kentucky Derby. An autopsy revealed that Mr. Perkins died of asphyxiation as a result of strangulation. The autopsy also revealed Mr. Perkins sustained cracked ribs and head trauma. 2 people became prime suspects in the murder, Loretta Evans and her roommate, Evelyn Ball. Loretta turned herself into authorities and provided her version of the events leading to Perkins' murder. Loretta said she and Evelyn went to Mr. Perkins' house on May 11, 2004. The 3 drank beer and smoked cigarettes.
Prostitute.
While Loretta was distracted, she said Evelyn and Mr. Perkins got into an argument over something he said. Loretta further explained that Evelyn became enraged and hit Mr. Perkins in the head with a wine bottle. She then choked Perkins, wrestled him to the floor, and killed him.
It ain't your fault, Loretta.
Afterwards, the 2 women left the home in Loretta's vehicle. At trial, one of Perkins's neighbors testified that she saw a car matching the description of Loretta's car on the day of the murder. On June 14, 2004, Loretta and Evelyn were indicted by the Whitley County Grand Jury for the murder and robbery of Edgar Perkins. Loretta testified at trial in order to avoid the death penalty in an agreement with the Commonwealth. Loretta testified consistently with the statement she gave the police. Evelyn produced an alibi witness who testified that she was with her on the day of the murder. Evelyn was acquitted on all charges. Loretta was found guilty of first-degree robbery and murder as the principal in killing Mr. Perkins.
So this bitch was by herself? You try to pin it on a whole another woman? Crazy.
She was sentenced to life imprisonment on the murder conviction and 20 years on the robbery conviction, sentences to run concurrently.
You could have just sucked his dick and got some money from him, but you wanted to take it all, greedy bitch.
Stephanie Fleming and her lover, James Ray Maggard, met while working at McDonald's in
I said she was in 3rd place. Let's see what she did.
Whitesburg, Kentucky, where the 2 began conspiring to murder Stephanie's husband. Drad and Stephanie Fleming were separated for a while in 2012, but at the time of Mr. Fleming's disappearance, the couple were living together with their 2 sons, both under the age of 5, in a mobile home in the community of Apex. Stephanie masterminded a plan which started by convincing her husband to increase the amount of his life insurance policy about a month before his death.
His dumbass.
Drad Fleming went missing on the night of June 20, 2012, sometime after he was last seen looking for a place to park in Neon so he could attend visitation for an uncle who had been killed in an all-terrain vehicle accident. Authorities have said Mr. Fleming, a roof bolting machine operator for
Watch out for them ATVs, okay? They're very dangerous. I know two kids that's died on them, another kid that almost died. I'm talking about literally got his skull split. Like, say this is his skull. It was like this. You know what I mean? And then I know at least I personally one adult that got hurt and a couple of others that got hurt. I don't know any people that died on a ATV, but I'm pretty. I don't know any adults that died on an ATV. Mainly, I don't know a lot of people with ATVs, but I know some that got hurt. So I know it's a lot of people that get hurt on ATVs.
Cumberland River Coal Company, left before attending the wake after being lured by his wife back to the couple's trailer so that Maggard could ambush him with a baseball bat. After searching for Mr. Fleming in and around the areas thought to be pertinent, deputies met with members of the Fleming's family to talk about where Fleming might be. Stephanie Fleming eventually told authorities she had gotten a call from her husband saying he was driving to meet a person on Pine Mountain.
I guarantee you that something else was used to kill him besides this bat, because it's pretty hard to kill a man with just a bat. I'm just saying. It depends on what type of man he is also. So he might have been disabled or something like that. He do gamble on the Kentucky Derby. That means you might be a little old, you know. So he might have been succumbed to some baseball bat injuries, but it's pretty hard to kill somebody with a baseball bat.
When she last heard from him. While family members and deputies continued their ground search, James Maggard walked into the sheriff's office in Whitesburg and confessed to killing Mr. Fleming. Maggard then rode in a car with two deputies to show them where the truck had come to rest.
You feel stupid that you went and killed a man for a bitch?
Down an embankment along Franks Creek Road in Eolia. Video surveillance, taken from a coal mine near Little Fork of Franks Creek, shows Fleming's truck driving by the mine site at a high rate of speed at 10:15 p.m. on the night of the murder. The recording also shows Maggard walking back down the same road 1 hour and 37 minutes later. An autopsy performed the day after the remains of Mr. Fleming were recovered revealed that he died of smoke inhalation and thermal injuries. The report said that Mr. Fleming's lungs, larynx, and trachea contained abundant amounts of soot. State medical examiner Victoria Grant.
Like I said, it's hard to kill a motherfucker with a bat. You gotta do some extra stuff to him. Bat might keep him from moving, broke a kneecap, shattered a femur, cracked some ribs, broke some ribs, maybe even knock you out unconscious, maybe. Okay, so because when you're getting hit by stuff, you try to protect the vital areas.
Graham also said that blunt force trauma cannot be excluded by autopsy findings. Stephanie entered a guilty plea on numerous charges for her role in her husband's death on March 5, 2014. She was sentenced to life in prison with the chance of parole after serving 20 years. Later that same month, Maggard entered an Alford guilty plea in Letcher Circuit Court that protected him from the death penalty. He was sentenced to life without the possibility of probation or parole. Cheryl Gabow and her domestic companion, David Brangers, hired James Cecil and Samuel McMillan.
I said that last lady was third. I think I said this lady was first. Let's see.
To kill Gabow's husband, Frederick Gabow. On February 17, 1995, McMillan shot and killed Frederick Gabow at Mr. Gabow's residence in Radcliffe, Kentucky. Cheryl and Frederick Gabow were in the process of a divorce, and Cheryl believed that if her husband died before the divorce became final on February 20, 1995, she could collect the proceeds of his $200,000 National Guard life insurance policy. Cheryl Gabow agreed to pay Cecil and McMillan $10,000 of the life insurance proceeds to kill Frederick Gabow. On the night of February 17, 1995, local police officers came to the Brangers-Gabow residence and advised that Frederick Gabow had been shot and was at the hospital.
There's no way to kill somebody without getting in trouble. Okay, the only way you can really get away with something is for it to be random. Because if it's not random, like if you planned it, that means there's a trail. A plan is a trail, literally. So if you plan to be a doctor one day, you must go to school, get your degrees, become a doctor. That's a plan. Those are step by steps. So if you go backwards, you'll see where that person started from. All right. So there's no way to hurt somebody or off somebody, in somebody without getting caught, unless it's completely random. You know what I mean? Then you're a fucking psycho.
On February 18th, Cecil and McMillan came to the Brangers Gabo residence and described how McMillan had shot Frederick Gabo through a window of his residence, then entered the residence and shot him again. According to Brangers, Cheryl was upset that her husband was still alive because he was not supposed to suffer. Mr. Gabo died the next day. McMillan, Cecil, Brangers, and Cheryl Gabo all confessed to their respective involvements in the killing.
You mad because he suffered? Isn't death the ultimate suffrage?
And all were indicted for murder. Prior to trial, Brangers was allowed to plead guilty to criminal facilitation of murder and to accept a sentence of 5 years in prison in exchange for his testimony against the others. The charge against McMillan was severed when a question arose as to his mental competency to stand trial. In her confession, Cheryl Gabo admitted hiring Cecil and McMillan to kill her husband so that she could collect the life insurance proceeds. However, she also claimed that several days before the murder, she advised both Cecil and McMillan that she didn't want it to happen, that she didn't want them to do anything, and that she did not see Cecil again until the day after the murder. Later in her confession, she claimed to have had a subsequent conversation only with Cecil, in which she repeated her renunciation and in which Cecil also renounced any further interest in the plot. Cecil's confession does not mention a renunciation either by himself or by Cheryl Gabo. His version of this conversation was that he told Cheryl that McMillan had gotten drunk and disappeared with the gun. That Cheryl told him that it needed to be done before Monday because she was going to sign the divorce papers on Monday or Tuesday, and that Cecil promised her it would be done before Monday.
That's a trail. So just before you was about to sign the papers, your husband come up dead, huh? So that doesn't look suspicious at all. Crazy. Only way you can get away with some stuff like that is if it's completely random or not likely to happen. So, and again, you have to be fucking psycho. So if this lady really wanted that $250,000, maybe she should have been a good wife for a couple of years. You know what I mean? So he wouldn't think that he wouldn't want to file for divorce. Make everything all sweet and cherry and all sunshines and rainbows, you know what I mean? And then do your thing. So you might get away with that because it was like, well, we was just the happiest ever and nothing was wrong. We was really working on our relationships. We've been going strong. We've adopted 7 cats. We've been going to the bread line and serving the homeless people. We do walks in the park. We also like to walk at the mall on Sundays at like 4 a.m. because it's open. We just been getting really close together. And yeah, see, that's when you're supposed to do it. That's when you're supposed to do it.
James Cecil and Cheryl Gabo were then tried jointly, and both were convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison without benefit of probation or parole for 25 years. James Cecil was paroled on February 3, 2020. Cheryl remains at the Kentucky Correctional Institution for Women. Brenda Harden and her husband Ronnie Harden were married in 1971.
71 years old. Out here killing shit. God damn.
They have a son and 2 grandsons. In January of 2012, Ronnie left Brenda. Her mental and physical health deteriorated thereafter. She suffered from depression and attempted to take her own life in 2013. Brenda and Ronnie divorced in July of 2013. Brenda's mental health continued to decline. After the divorce, Ronnie maintained a golf shop in a detached building on the property where the couple once lived. Ronnie.
When you leave a woman, it is, and especially a woman, like she's old, like that's hard to deal with. Say, hey, I'm about to die alone because I don't got no husband. You know what I mean? you got your kids though, you know what I mean? But you don't got no husband, so that would make a lady go crazy. So fellas, why make sure look, when you with somebody that long, you got to make sure that they handle that breakup, that separation well. That might sound weird to some people, to be there for somebody while you're going through a breakup. You know what I mean? Shit, man, you love them at some point. Don't you want to see them fall on their feet, not on their ass? Shoot. So yeah, fellas, being with a woman is a big responsibility, before and after, actually.
Ronnie continued to use the shop for golf lessons and other work. Ronnie became engaged to Betty Rule. Brenda
He out here living his best life. Got a golf shop, got a bitch he got engaged to. She just over here old, mean, shit. Only whole work is that mouth. Okay, what that mouth do? She ain't got no lips. Okay, head trash. You can't even be 71 sucking dick out here. Might as well go to jail. For real.
became aware of the engagement before the wedding date. She became obsessed with the prospect of Ronnie's new marriage. Ronnie and Brenda's son cautioned his father to avoid Brenda due to her volatile state. On July 7, 2014, Ronnie ignored his son's warnings and returned to his marital residence to use the golf shop. That evening, Brenda killed Ronnie with a single shot to his upper torso that was fired from a .357 revolver. Brenda tried to take her life by swallowing a copious amount of prescription medications, but still managed to drive herself to her sister's house, who quickly called 911.
Yeah, she wasn't trying to kill herself. That was a defense. I'm crazy. I tried to take pills. You got a gun in your hand you just shot somebody with, and you want to kill yourself, but you don't shoot yourself? Boom, right to the chest, the heart right in the middle. Now, you remember how they used to tell you your heart was over here on your left side? No, heart right in the middle. So you took that gun, bang! You're going to take some pills. Bitch, don't be a pussy.
Brenda spent several days in ICU. During her stay at the hospital, she was indicted for murder and tampering with physical evidence. When she recovered, she was booked into the Muhlenberg County Jail.
She was tampering with physical evidence. Did that mean she was trying to live? No, she was trying to get away with it.
Was tried and convicted of murder. She was sentenced to life imprisonment. She is currently at the Kentucky Correctional Institution for Women. Ramona Haynes was arrested shortly after the body of her 67-year-old mother was found in a shallow grave in April of 1995.
Oh, this is number one. You kill your mom? Okay, Ruby Rose.
Haynes's body was found about 4 to 5 miles from her home, police said. Her 85-year-old brother, Buvell Smith, of Irvington, said he and a niece went to check on Haynes after she failed to answer their telephone calls Monday morning. When they reached her house at the end of an old county road at 9 a.m. CDT, her red pickup was there. On a chair by her front door, they found her glasses, broken, her tennis shoes, and a surgical glove. It is unclear if Ramona pled guilty or was convicted in the murder of her mother. However, she remains incarcerated at the Kentucky Correctional Institution for Women, where she's been serving a life sentence since January 11, 1996. She had a parole hearing in February of 2020, which was deferred for 120 months. Shayna Hubers was in an on-again, off-again relationship.
I said this was number one, but that last one was the number one, okay?
Relationship with Ryan Poston when Shayna fatally shot Poston in October of 2012 to death in his own home.
I said this was number two, but I did say she was evil.
Shayna claimed she shot Ryan in self-defense when she called 911 after he threw her across the room and into a bookshelf. She also claimed that Poston was abusive. At the crime scene, police found no signs of violence.
That's what they always say. Like, that's a girl's number one go-to, is that he's abusive. And it's so many different types of abuse. Like, so they might even be telling the truth, you know what I mean? But they're usually not, you know what I mean? So there's physical abuse, mental abuse, financial abuse, verbal abuse. That's like physical abuse, financial abuse, verbal abuse. Yeah, it's different types of abuse. You know what I'm saying? Emotional abuse, sexual abuse, uh, yeah, etc. You know, so that's a big blanket, and usually it's just the man was verbally abusive, but it's never one way though. It's never one way. It's two people arguing, okay, and all because you're a girl, you think you can't get argued with.
Authorities believed the pair got into an argument when Huber shot Poston 6 times. Friends of Ryan said that he was going to end their on-again, off-again relationship and had a date with Miss Ohio, USA, Audrey Bolte, on the night of the murder.
Yeah. He said, hey, I'm gonna let you know I'm not dealing with you no more. Got another bitch. She bad. Really? Bow, bow, bow. Unloaded the whole revolver on.
During her police interview, Hubers displayed bizarre behavior. She spoke to authorities for almost 3 hours, danced, twirled, and sang Amazing Grace. She was eventually charged with murder. She was convicted 2.5 years later. After her first conviction, Hubers received a 40-year prison sentence. That conviction was overturned after it was revealed a jury member had a prior felony conviction. A retrial took place in August 2018.
Can't be a felon on the jury? That's messed up. I did my crime and I did my time. Dang, that's messed up.
Once again, Shayna was convicted of murder, receiving a life sentence with parole after 20 years. Shane will be eligible.
How does that fact slip through the crack? That one of the jurors is a felon. I'm pretty sure they give them rules before the case starts. Like if you're a felon, you can't be here. That's crazy. How do you not? Yeah, the defense knew that, and they decided to hold that little information to themselves in case she lost, so they can get another go at it. Waste some taxpayer money.
For parole after 14 years, as she already served 6 years in prison at the time of her sentencing. In June of 2018, while in the camp.
Yeah, Miss Ohio. See now, hey, this is a beautiful white woman over here. Tell you that. That's a gorgeous woman right there. Look at that. She probably got no ass back there, but I like, look, I like my black girls, thick, juicy, you know what I mean, slim still, you know what I mean? She definitely some muscle definition, you know. I like them on the 135, 140 side, okay? But I like my white woman like 115, 120. If we going in a world where you get what you want, okay?
Campbell County Jail, Shayna married a transgender woman named Unique Taylor, previously known as Richard McBee. The marriage didn't last.
Oh, a transgender woman, so that was a man. So she went to jail and she got with a man. I'm going back a little bit. Sorry, that fucked me up right there. Let's go.
While in the Campbell County Jail, Shayna married a transgender woman named Unique Taylor, previously known as Richard McBee. The marriage didn't last long. In January 2019, Hubers filed for divorce from Taylor. Court records showed that their relationship became irretrievably broken. Police said Lorena's son, Anthony, drove his mother both to and away from the scene where Calvin Taylor was shot and killed in 2020 at a house on North Kentucky Avenue. Anthony entered an Alford plea to facilitation to complicity to commit murder and first-degree facilitation to complicity to commit robbery. An Alford plea means the younger Manning did not admit guilt, but did recognize there was enough evidence to convict him. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison in exchange for his testimony. Anthony's story wavered a bit from the original statement he gave police, but that didn't stop the jury from finding his mother guilty of complicity to murder and complicity to first-degree robbery following the 4-day trial in Christian County Circuit.
That's a bad mom. I don't care how old your child is. Don't have your child help you commit a murder.
Court. The jury took just over 2 hours to find Lorena guilty. She was sentenced to life for complicity to murder and 20 years for first-degree robbery, to run concurrently. She will be eligible for parole after serving at least 20 years of that life sentence.
Just an old gangster woman. All right, this is an old gangster. That's what that lady was. That was a quick story. I think my stereotyping was correct. Okay, I stereotyped those ladies, and I think I got the right stereotypes for all of them. So we all done. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Before we go, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know, the free stuff that us content creators actually do that you never do. But since you don't want to do that, it's because you got that paper. You got some money, right? You know, you want to send me some money? Hey, it's a Cash App scroll on the bottom right there. Damn it. I got greener grass. That's another show I do. I put the wrong, there you go. The Cash App's still the same. All right. So check out Greener Grass. If you want to be on Greener Grass, just gonna send me an email at a real ninjas network at gmail.com. That is a real ninjas with an S network at gmail.com. If you want to be on Greener Grass, it is a dating show where we just do a highlight. We highlight single people. Okay, so again, y'all have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Y'all have a great day. How?